Today I'm going to talk about innovation in times of adversity and give us a sense of how you think about it and how you deal with it and how you embrace it, even when every instinct you have, every fiber of your being gives you the sense that what you should do is hunker down and play it safe. So I know that at some sort of abstract intellectual level, it feels perfectly reasonable to think about times of adversity as a time when you should pursue innovation. But in fact, we don't. There are all kinds of reasonable sounding reasons why we ought not do it right now, thank you very much. There are all kinds of obstacles that get in our way. And in times of extraordinary duress, as we see in so many parts of the economy and so many parts of daily life and so many parts of the lives and long-term financial success of most of our friends and family members, it's really easy to say, let's try to play like an armadillo. Let's try to get as small and as safe as we possibly can for as long as we can. And yet, in times of adversity, it's people that learn to see things in a fresh way, that learn to do something completely different, that brave the times of transformation and sort of develop the courage to try to do something sooner than others, differently than others, more aggressively than others, that almost always emerge from these turbulent times with a new lease on life. Now, I know we know that that's true intellectually, but it's a very uncommon piece of discovery that innovation is more positively correlated with resource scarcity than it is with resource abundance. It's when we're trying to figure out how to get something important to happen and we don't have almost anything to work from, that we are in a better position to sort of say, well, how can I do this in a way that is different than what people have seen before? So to a certain extent, I'm going to talk to you, like John Cleese would from Monty Python, right? Today is going to be, and now for something completely different. And we will try to think about it together. So Dan is talking about the painful moment when you've got something new in development, in this case a product. He's put it on the shelf, probably because of resource constraints or anxieties about the market conditions. And so he's wondering how to know intuitively when you should, in fact, flip that around. And when do you stop it altogether? When do you just put it in mothballs? How do you make the right judgments about the conditions that you're in? So that's a really great way to think about innovation. Sometimes it actually is very wise in times of adversity to pull back either on the number of initiatives that you're pursuing, the pace at which you're pursuing them, and to time it right for the marketplace. But the one thing that I want to watch out for is the way you said it's a new product. Because, as you will hear me say in a little bit, trading off of the idea that I talked about one time recently when I was at Masters Forum, this idea of 10 types of innovation, the weakest single thing to pursue is a new product idea. And if you're, in fact, thinking about an entirely new system of capabilities, a new solution-like thing, people often call it, or a new platform of things that you can do, you're in a position, actually, to determine when this new thing that you're doing radically changes the lives and the services that you can provide to the people you're trying to serve. And so, actually, you can often discover that even in times of adversity, launching something that is, dramatically simpler for people to do, or dramatically more effective for them to be able to enjoy. It saves them time, it saves them energy, it saves them effort, it saves them money. Those things are, in fact, actually well received during times of adversity. Just as all of us need to be thinking in our institutional lives about what new behaviors we want to try to epitomize or engender, that tends to happen to people in their private lives as well. It's when people are sort of asking the question, what are the new behaviors that we should address? And to that general observation, I would like to add that I had a fascinating conversation with some world-class bankers last week. And they gave me a fresher and I think more precise definition of the difference between a recession and a depression than I've ever heard before. You've always heard the technical definitions about multiple quarters in a row with the declining market share, et cetera, et cetera. But the way these bankers put it into sort of sharp focus for me is they said, you know, what happens is in a recession, we sort of hunker down for a while and we watch a lot of signals and we wait for it to get better because we know it will. In a depression, what happens is it permanently alters our relationship to ourselves, our actions, and our behaviors in the world. And that is what you watch for when there's something fundamentally new in the way people are behaving. When people going through these difficult times say, this is a big shift, it's going to change my life forever. That's when you want to sort of watch out for something new.